All right, so this is part two. All right, and Yahweh he's giving the basically command the angels allow him to to create the earth and the orbits in the skies and everything, man. Just letting y'all know that. All right, he gave that command to his if you could receive it, to his son Yahweh, the head of all the angels. All right, so he gave the command, Yahweh gave a command to the angels to do all this. All right, but it says Genesis chapter 1 verse 14. It says what? It said, and the Most High said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years." All right, it says what? It says, and the Most High said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. Let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth." It was so. It says what? It says what? And the Most High made two great lights. The greater light to rule the day was the sun. The lesser light to rule the night was the moon. And he made the stars also. All right, it says what? And the Most High set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. All right. So the moons, everything. Just get you to know what tell you what season it is, man. All right. So the same thing going on with the Cherokee. Okay. All right. So right here it says, let's see, page 93. Now this is interesting right here. It says page 93. It says Mr. Bartram says while he was at Atusi in the Creek Nation on a get this camera focused, man. See if I get it focused. All right, so it said Mr. Bartram said while he was at Atusi in the Creek Nation on a Sabbath day, he observed a great solemnity in the town and a remarkable silence and retiredness of the red inhabitant. First of all, our brothers, got our brothers and sisters not red, man. All right, they're brown. All right, copper, man. All right, the true red man is Esau, the so-called Caucasians. All right, just ain't not to be mean or not. Yeah, it's just the truth, man. All right. Man, come on, brothers. Hey. Brothers getting off work and everything, man. Afternoon, chiming in and stuff. All right, but anyway, man, back to this. Get this camera focused, man. Hope you all can see this, man. It says, few them were to be seen. The doors of the dwellings. We'll start again. It said, few them were to be seen. The doors of their dwellings were shut. And if a child chanced to stray out, it was quickly drawn indoors again. He asked the meaning of this, and it was immediately answered that being the people's Sabbath, all right, that the Indians kept it religious, sacred to the Great Spirit. All right. So you have right here in the Creek, the Creeks was keeping the Shabbat. All right. So what they get that from, man. Okay. They got it from the scriptures. All right, because they the Israelites, man. All right. Oh, now they ain't gonna pop up. That's Satan, man. All right, man. So just go to oh, now it's gonna pop up. All right. All right, so you go to let's see, the Sabbath. Nice. Nope. Wow. Anyway, man, read Esther chapter 20. It's in there, man. All right, the Sabbath. So now it's gonna say no internet. Oh boy, Satan working big time, man. Satan, the prince of the hell. All right, so it says right here on 94. It says the town of refuge called Shote is situated on a large stream of the. Well, I'm gonna start back up here. It's a lot. All right, it says right here. You know what? Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna start up here. It says when the Indian Israelites on traffic guide, they always count the time by sleeps, which is a very ancient custom, perhaps may have been derived from the Mosaic method of counting time, making the evening and the morning to be the first day. They have also ancient customs set apart certain houses and towns as places for refuge to which a criminal, even a captive, may captain may fly. It's talking about flee and be safe from the avenger of blood if he can but enter it. Mr. Barnes said we arrived at Alapachula town in the Creek Nation. This is esteemed the mother town sacred to peace. No captives are put to death or human blood spilled here. The Cherokees, according to the dare, though now insanely corrupt, still observe the law of refuge so inviolably that they allow their beloved town the privilege of protecting a willful murderer, but they seldom allow him to return home from it safely. The town of refuge is called Chocote, or Shote. All right. It's situated on a large stream of the Mississippi, 5 miles above where Fort Lauderdale formerly stood. Here, some years ago, a brave Englishman was protected after killing an Indian warrior in defense of his property. He told Adair that after some months stay there, he intended to return to his home in the neighborhood, but the chief told him it would prove fatal to him, so he was obliged to stay there until he satisfied the friends of the deceased by presence. To their full satisfaction, it said in the upper country of Muskie, there was an old beloved town called Kusa, now reduced to a small ruinous village, which is still a place of safe for those who kill undesirable. It said almost in every Indian nation, right, talking about the Gadites, so-called Native American, in almost every Indian nation, there are several peaceful towns. They seem formed to have been towns or reservoir. It is not within the memory of the oldest people that ever human blood was shed in them, although they often force persons from them and put them to death elsewhere, man. All right, so you know where they get it from, man. All right, so they get it from the scriptures, man. All right. This is undeniable proof, man. All right. It says right here, it said Yahweh spake unto Moses, said, Numbers 35 and 9, Yahweh spake unto Moses, said, speak unto the children of Israel, say unto them, when ye come over the Jordan to the land of Canaan, then ye shall point you cities to be seated registered for any of you, that the slave may flee thither, which killeth any person at unawares. And they shall be unto you city for refuge from the avenger. The manslayer die not until he stand before the congregation in judgment. All right. It says 13, it says, and those cities which I give, 6 cities shall be for have a refuge. All right. You should give 3 cities on the side of Jordan, 3 cities should give in the land of Canaan, which should be cities of refuge. These 6 cities should be refuge for both for the children of Israel and for the stranger and for the sojourner among them, that everyone that killeth any person unawares may flee thither. All right, say if he smite him with an instrument of iron, so he die, he is a murderer, and a murderer shall be put to death. All right. And really, it's strange that Jordan really talking about the Israelites, man. You know. And so, in this case, we don't know. And it's English, man, because original English were Jakes, man, so-called Negroes, man. So, we don't know who this English guy. Good, better on original English, man. All right, because everybody, our people, they came here too, man. They came over here too, man. It was coming over here. Our people from Europe. So this guy, he could have been a Jake, man, the Englishman. All right. But anyway, man, let's continue. All right, the page 115. All right. You know what? Let me get 110 right quick. And it's going to trip you out, man. It says, the Indians are distinctly intoxicated with religious pride and hold the white people in expensive contempt. They call them intoxicated, man, because they was keeping their customs, man. And he talking about white people, talking about Caucasian people, the Edomites. All right, well, this is what vocab alone is, man. The common name they give us in their speeches literally means nothing but in their war speeches. A took approves the accursed people. All right, so they call the Edomites the accursed people, which they are, man. All right, they're cursed. All right, they got the mark of Cain, on them, man. You read Genesis chapter 3. But they flatter themselves with, and also they call the fugitives, man, but they flatter themselves with the name Pt.2, the beloved people. This is agreeable to the Hebrew epithet Atmad during the theocracy of Israel. All right, when their high priest, if we may allow the term for a beloved man, address the people, he called them the beloved or holy people. These address are the full flourishes on the happiness of the country, called it a land of flowing with milk and honey. All right. So they call the Edomites the accursed people. Oh, man, funny, man. All right. Now, all right, here, so it says right here, page 114, it says, Mr. Betty give much same account their prophets among the Delaware nations or tribes above 118 years ago. They consult the prophets on any extraordinary occasion, as in great or uncommon sickness. This, he says, seemed to be in imitation of Jews of the old, inquired of prophets. Ishto-Holo is the name of they all great beloved men and pontifical office, descends by inheritance to the eldest. All right. It says it cannot be expected but that the dress of the old Indian high priest, rather than the great beloved man or the first and oldest among the beloved men, shall be different from the high priest of the Jews. The poverty and distress condition ended renders a confirming impossible. Notwithstanding, the case agreement are really astonishing, considering that circumstances have no means of knowing what it was. By tradition being deprived of all records related to it. All right. So this said, before the Indian Archimarchus or high priest officiate making the supposed holy fire. For little atonement sin, as will soon to be shown, he clothed himself with a white garment resembling the ephod of the Jews, being made of finely dressed deer doeskin in a waist coat without the sleeves. When he enters on the solemn day, a beloved attendant spreads a white dress buckskin on a white seat, which stands for close uphold the holiest division, their place of worship. Then puts on some white beads on it that are offered by the people. The archive magnus wraps around the shoulders of consecrated consecrated skin of the same sort, which reach across on his arms. He ties behind his back with 2 knots on his legs and forming the figure 8. Instead of going barefoot, he wears a new pair of buckskin moccasins made by himself and so with the sinews of the animal. All right, it says what he paints the upper part of across the toes with a few streaks of red made of red root, which is the symbol of their holy things. As a vermin is award. The shoes he never wears at any time he leaves them with other parts of his potential dress. The service are over in beloved place. In resemblance to sacred breastplate, the Americans wear a breastplate made of white conch shell with 2 holes born in the middle of it. Though he puts the end of the otter's skin strap and fastened with a white buckhorn to the outside of it. If an imitation, it pursues the stones of Urim, which miraculously blaze on the high priest's breastplate. The honorary words of divine oracle instead of the plate of gold, which were worn on his forehead. The words holy are separate to the Most High. The Indians wear his temple set a wreath of swan feathers or a large piece of swan skin double as fine, snowy down appears on each side, and his likeness of the interior of the former. The later wears a crown on his head with a tuft of white feather, which they call yakra, but the meaning of the word is not known. He is also fastens a number of blunted wild turkey cock spurs towards the toes of his moccasin, a resemblance of the bells of the Jewish high priest, all right, the Levite high priest, all right. You know, tell saying he's Jewish, man. We're not Jewish, we're Israelites. But anyway, it said which the Jewish high priest wore on his coat of blue. Okay. So what did they get that from, man? All right, you have to remember when the 2 kingdoms split. You read starting from 1 Kings chapter 11. You read throughout the other chapters, man. All right, Jeroboam, he sent the Levites back to the southern kingdom, and he made Gad and the rest of the tribes holy man. All right, priest, man, high priest. All right, so you know that's where they got that from, man. You go to Exodus. Get this right here. And this is part 2, man. There's so many parts to it. I'm gonna come part 3. Lord willing, later on. It says, and these are, let me see. All right. It said, thou shalt make a holy God for Aaron thy brother for glory and beauty, and thou shalt make holy God for Aaron thy brother for glory and beauty, and thou, Exodus 28:2, and thou shalt speak unto all that wise hearted whom I fill with the spirit of wisdom, that they make Aaron's garment to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me the priest of office. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, a ephod, a robe, a broidered coat, a mitre, a girdle, that they shall make holy guards for Aaron thy brother's sons, that he may minister to me in all the priest's often. They shall take a gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and fine linen, and they shall make the ephod of gold, blue, of the purple, of scarlet, fine, twin linen, cunning work. All right, so you know, there you go, man. All right, so that's what they get it from, man. All right, but they just using what they had. So you know, this is part 2. So I'm gonna end it. Shalom.